Welcome back to Claire's Pilates. Today, as ever, I'm going to go through with you another short workout that you can use while you're taking a break from your classes through the Christmas holidays. This is designed to be used without any equipment at all, so you can do it easily at home, and it's also designed to be used by students that are taking regular classes. So please, if you've not done Pilates before, do check in both with an exercise professional and or a doctor where appropriate to make sure that these exercises are okay for you to do. Let's get started. We're going to begin lying on our backs today in your relaxation positions. And just once you're there, find a nice, easy, relaxed position for your body to be in. Take a few breaths, conscious breaths in and out, and allow your body to really come to rest into the ground. Grab a hold of the knees, cuddle the knees into the chest, and now start focusing the breath into the small of the back. Breathing into the space there, and breathing out again to really relax. Maybe cuddle the knees a little closer. Each breath in, coming into the small of the back, and each breath out, relaxing the body. Let's take another couple of breaths in this position. And so the first exercise I'd like to move on to is your rolling like a rocker. So we'll take the hands now behind the thighs. Take a good grip, one thigh in each hand so you're not lacing the fingers together. And as you're ready, we can take yourself into your C-curve, pressing the back of the thighs into the hands until the elbows go straight. A little extra push, just to bring your balance into your lower spine and the top of the pelvis. Rest back against the arms through the breastbone and relax the shoulders. And in this position, just a gentle rock. No momentum is required, and keep a strong tilt, north tilt of the pelvis and softness through the chest. Let's take 3 more rocks. If you can't rock, staying in that position is absolutely fine to breathe. Relax and let it ease down. Carefully bringing the feet back into the floor one at a time into your relaxation position. We'll lace the hands behind the skull for your wave. The feet need to be close to the bottom as they would be for a spine curl. Taking the breath in, and as you exhale, curling the spine into the spine curl away from the ground. Then breathing in, we curl up head, neck, upper back into your curl up. Exhale, let the spine, the pelvis, the lower back and the pelvis roll down, and inhale to let the head lower. So we're coming up through the tail into the lower back for the spine curl. Follow that with the curl up. Let the pelvis roll down. And then let the upper back and head follow. Waving it once again into the spine curl, followed by the curl up, releasing the spine curl and releasing the curl up to begin once again. So breathing out to spine curl and inhale to curl up. And exhale to release the spine curl. Inhale to release the curl up. Let's take 1 more. And as we finish, we can bring the hands just slightly away from the side of the hips. The feet back to a comfortable distance from the bottom, and the knees and ankles tightly together for hip rolls with leg extension and leg lowering. So we're moving into your traditional hip roll to the right hand side. We can then extend the top leg to straight, keep connected on the inner thighs. And we bring the hip roll back to center, upper back, middle back, lower back. Keep the leg long as it lowers all the way down to the ground, and maintain your neutral pelvis and spine as you draw that leg back into its start position. We can then rotate through the hip roll to the left. Keep the inner thighs and knees connected as you extend the top leg to straight. Come back to center, upper back, middle, lower pelvis, and then bring that leg all the way straight down to the ground, maintaining neutral pelvis spine as you glide that leg back into bent. And we can begin again the hip roll to the right. Maintaining the upper back on the floor as you extend the top leg away. Keep that extension as you return to your center. Let the leg lower and maintain your central alignment as the leg glides back in and you swap sides once again. And keep remembering as you move through the hip roll, you're rotating the tail, the lower back, the middle back, the upper back stays connected. Keep connected between the pelvis and the ribs as you extend that leg, return it back to center, lower the leg down to the ground and return it to the start position. Let's complete these last two to the right side and the left side. And as we bring everything back to the start position, we can slide both legs away into double leg slide. And we're going to roll it onto your side for some sideline work. We're going to take some internal and external rotation with the thighs in your oyster position. I'll do on the first side a simpler version and on the second side a slightly harder version. So once you're on your side, you're bending up the knees into the oyster position. Soles of the feet are in line with your back of your pelvis. And you are resting the head onto the underneath arm, connecting gently between the ribs and the pelvis and softening the chest and the upper back. We're going to let the top knee lift into the oyster position, maintain a stillness through the pelvis and keep that knee lifted. Once it's there, we can internally rotate the thigh and externally rotate. Internally and externally. So the knee comes to look towards the ground and then towards the ceiling. As the knee looks at the ground, the foot looks at the sky and vice versa. And as you're moving in and out, you're really trying to maintain a stillness through the pelvis. Last one. And then we will lengthen those legs out and away. And before we move then onto the other side, let's take it into the next exercise, which is your waist twist inside bridge. So again, we're starting with the knees bent up and the ankles interlocked for your harder version. One knee on top of the easier, and I'll do the harder version when we get to the other side if you want that option. The underneath arm is resting underneath the shoulder and you're lifting the ribs away from the hands. We take a connection of the inner thighs, pelvic floor, tummy and lift the arm, the hips, all the way up and through the roof. Once you're there, we stay there to bring the top arm all the way underneath you, turning the head, turning the neck, turning the ribs to look at the wall behind you, and then open back out to the ceiling. Let's go again. You can turn as much as you like, but be very careful as you turn not to move away from that supporting hand. So you're keeping much of your shoulder weight over the underneath wrist. The inner thighs are still squeezing and connecting, and you're always connecting your ribs to your pubic bone in the front of your center. Last one. And and then we can let it come down, and now we're ready to change sides. Let's begin with your internal external rotation. So on the first side I had the easier version laying down on the floor like so. If you want to challenge it, just bring it up onto the elbow, extend the legs out to straight, and again check your connection and your alignment. The top leg is going to turn out and bend up into the retiré or oyster position, and then we rotate in and we rotate out. Same movement, rotating the knee down to the floor, up to the ceiling, whilst maintaining a nice, easy, stable pelvis. You're maintaining the lift underneath the armpit, and we'll take one more of those. And then again, we can extend that leg back out. And moving in to your side reach with waist twist. So if you want to take the harder version, rather than having the knees tightly together, interlock the ankles, and again have the supporting underneath hand roughly underneath the shoulder and armpits. We press the feet and the hand into the ground so that we can lift that top arm right up to the sky. Once you're there, you stay there. And we rotate, bring that top arm underneath you, turn to look, head, neck, ribs behind you, and then opening back out to the ceiling. Again, you can rotate as much as you like, but checking that you're broadly staying over the supporting hand with your torso, with your shoulder girdle. Let's take 2 more. Keep connecting as ever the ribs to the pubic bone, particularly as you open up and reach. Bend off the knees, let the hips sit down, and you're back where you started. Let's move on to your Cobra. So coming down onto the abdominals, resting the forehead onto the hands if you'd like to take the easier version of diamond press. Either side of the forehead if you'd like to take your slightly bigger version of Cobra. Inhale into the small of the back, and exhale to lengthen forwards with the crown, the nose, the throat, the breastbone, and then keep lengthening forwards as you come down. As you extend and lift, elongate the lower back, elongate the thighs away from your head in opposition. And allow the shoulders to fully relax as you extend through the spine. Of course, if you're working in Cobra, you can come slightly higher, as much as you're able to without losing connection through the abdomen, despite the fact that the abdominals are lengthening. Let's take 2 more. Shoulders keep relaxing, even if you're coming high, and the lower back tries to continue to extend, nice and long, even if you're coming high. Let's make this one then, the last one. And then we can let it come to rest and bring the bottom back onto the heels into your rest position. Breathing here for a few breaths, and once again breathing into the small of the back and breathing out to relax. So as you're ready to move on, we're going to come into another set of waist twists. I'd like to do this in your lunge position. So if you're less inclined to challenge, we keep the front foot on the floor and the back knee on the floor too. Have the front foot slightly wider out than the knee so that you can lift the pubic bone and keep connected in the lower centre as you sink the tail or the pelvis towards the front heel. Watch out not to just collapse into this position. Once you're there, we're letting both arms reach forwards at shoulder height and connect the shoulder blades to the back of the ribs. For your waist twist, we take the opposite arm to front leg all the way up to the ceiling. Watch it go, connect to your tummy as you turn head, neck, ribs behind you, and let the arm complete its circle to begin again. The further behind you come, the more wobbly this becomes, so keep using your center. And you are trying as hard as possible to keep both sides of the pelvis, both pelvic bones, looking directly forwards throughout. We'll take one more, and then we'll switch and swap onto the other leg. If you would like to challenge this a little bit further, I will give you an option on this side. So again, you're connecting pubic bone to belly button, you're sinking the tail towards the front heel, and you may tuck the toes of the back foot underneath and extend that back knee away. Again, watching out for sinking in the back. Try to keep lifting pubic bone to belly button as you push the back heel away. Both arms are reaching forwards, connect the shoulder blades, and again, you can rotate all the way up, back and around with the opposite arm to front leg. Keep both hip bones looking forwards as you rotate, and then turning the head, the neck, the ribs. You will need lots of pelvic floor and tummy lift for this one. Last one, let's come all the way around and rest both hands into the ground. Bring the back foot to join the front foot. Let the head and the arms hang, and you are at the bottom of your roll down. Once here, you can have the knees slightly bent should you need to. Let the tailbones keep lifting. Let the head and the arms hang so much of the body weight is into the balls of the toes. Take the breath into the small of the back to prepare for your roll up. And as you exhale, begin to roll up through the spine, lifting the belly button, dropping the tail down. Once you get there, both arms can move into the double arm floats and high release the breastbone up to the ceiling. Let the spine center, let the arms return, and we can roll down through the spine once again. So at the bottom, you are breathing out to lift through the belly button and roll up. As you inhale, breathe into the small of the back to float the arms up, lift the breastbone. Exhale to let it center and roll. Inhale at the bottom and exhale to roll up once again. Breathing into the small of the back for your high release and arm float. And exhale to let it center and roll down. Breathe in when you get there, breathe out to roll up, and let's take 2 more. So as we complete the last one, we can stay standing. We can settle the spine into a standing neutral, let the arms come to rest either side of the hips. And ladies and gentlemen, that is enough for one home session. Well done, thank you for practicing with me, and I hope to see you again really soon. Take care.